Hey guys, this is Zach with Farm Table West again, back for the fall farm tour. I was hoping to do one in September, but I didn't get to it. Just lots of stuff going on, pulling onions, like all this stuff here, and just didn't have time. But anyway, there's a lot that's changed since the last time I did a tour, so I thought I'd show you around. And this is pretty much how the farm's going to look until like November. So today is October 5th, and yeah, it's been a crazy season. Just got off to a really weird start at the beginning, very cold. Nothing really grew on time, but the fall crops are all looking very good, so that's a positive thing. We had some issues with tomatoes, definitely a lot of disease pressure. Still working on figuring out how to diagnose what the problem was, but I found some people that are kind of experts in that, so I think we'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, so we're in the geothermal tunnel, which I just actually turned the fans off, but they were on a minute ago. I'll turn them on again. So we're going to start warming it up again because it's that time of year, and hopefully we'll start warming it ground up 6 feet under, and it'll help keep it from freezing in here, hopefully till like December, but we'll see. Depends on how crazy things get. Some years I've been harvesting out in the field in December. Last year, definitely not, so we'll see. But we still have some really exciting stuff going on for the winter and fall. So I've got, obviously you can see behind me, all of our red and white onions. They're curing at the moment. I just pulled them Friday, and they're going to be sitting there for a good 2.5 to 3 weeks on pallets. And we got a bunch of circulation fans going in here, so it's a pretty good place to cure onions because I don't have a lot of plant starts growing right now, and they're above the ground and lots of air circulation. And as you can see here, cured the yellows. They're pretty close to done. And these are and some of the reds, I kind of mixed up my plants when I planted them, so there was some reds in this bed, but this is all one bed, 150-foot bed of onions. Looks like about 200 pounds, I'm not sure. Still learning onions. Onions are tricky. I definitely want to get the yields way up, but I don't know, I haven't weighed them yet. But this is, yeah, a little bit of red, yellow, or red, white, and shallots. I just had all the plants kind of mixed together. But as you can see here, they're all kind of single layered, so the bulbs are exposed. And in about 2 weeks, these greens will all be brown, and it will cut them like 5 inches up, kind of like here. And they'll store, hopefully, well into May. I don't know. Depends on how much I got and how I'm going to try and stretch them that long, because it's really nice to have some red color in March. As you can see here, still got this basil and celery pumping from back in April. Had this planted in April, so this is pretty awesome to have this late in the season. And what I'm going to do once these are done, and we haven't gotten a frost yet, by the way, which is kind of crazy for our climate, but it's very weird. But like in 45 minutes away, they've already gotten 28 degrees. But yeah, we haven't gotten one yet, which is why I still have some basil. I'm going to harvest a bunch of that tomorrow. And this celery, we'll probably get one more pick of that. I've already picked this celery like 3 times at least for bunching, and that worked out great. So this is our warmest tunnel because of the geothermal and everything, so I've got the least cold hardy stuff in here so far. So I got parsley here, which actually is really tough. I've done that in a completely unheated tunnel before, and it works pretty well. I'm still learning the winter growing. I'm listening to a lot of other farmers who've been doing winter growing for a lot longer than me, and sounds like I got to put on a lot more row cover. I've been doing 1 to 2 layers. I might have to do 3 because our climate's pretty tough. But yeah, so we got parsley here, and then this is cilantro. That's also pretty tough, but I've only tried that once before in the winter. But it actually looks gorgeous now. I think we're gonna have, at least until about Christmas, we'll have a truckload of cilantro. Salanova lettuce, our last planting of that, which hopefully will actually get big enough to harvest. We'll see, but it's looking great. This was all planted a week ago. Kind of forgot. I think a week ago. Then we got a couple beds of spinach here. We're gonna have a lot of spinach because you can never have too much, because nothing will really grow in the winter. And then we got a whole bunch of this red, beautiful bok choy planted. I wanted to get something red because red, you know, a lot of the stuff I sell in the winter is green. So I wanted to have some red stuff, and that'll be, I bet these will get pretty big by the time the 10-hour day comes. We got a lot more of this in the other tunnel. So yeah, that's pretty much what we got here. That's pretty much what it's going to be till about March-ish or February. I might pull some of this stuff. Well, the bok choy will get pulled out and probably replanted to something else. Some of this stuff I want to be able to pull it out in the fall and maybe replant in the winter, because it all depends on how cold the winter is. I might be able to replant some stuff like in February. I've kind of done that before, and I could tell this tunnel is just a lot more insulated than the other ones. It grows better. Everything grows a lot better in here. So yeah, let's move on to the field, and I got a whole bunch of new stuff to show you after that too. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me because it is a little windy today, but we're in the field now. It's, you know, a lot less weedy than the last time, because everything we harvested kind of, you know, the weeds get pulled out when you harvest. But basically everything out here is not going to really grow much more, but we got a lot to harvest still, at least through October, probably November. But yeah, this is actually the best it's ever looked out here at this time of year, because I've had some labor this year that helped, and I was able to stay on top of weeds and stuff a little bit better than ever before. So super exciting. But we got the last of our summer squash here. I actually just picked about 20 pounds today, even with all that powdery mildew. But you know, usually we have a frost by now and they're done, so it's all kind of like a bonus plan for me. And then what we're starting to do now is put fresh compost and sand. I have really bad clay soil, so I'm starting to add sand to start to kind of aerate it a little bit. And so we're gonna just be doing this and hopefully get like almost half the field prepped this fall. So, because this spring was so bad with snow, I didn't get to bed prep until like late April. That's just way too late. I normally start that in March, so I'm hoping to get as much of that done in the fall as possible. We're also doing some soil tests in the field, these new tunnels and both of these other tunnels. So I'll be adding some amendments before the winter, hopefully, as long as we don't get snow in November 1st, but sometimes we do. But yeah, here's the last of our Salanova, which I'm still, yeah, we got the planting a little bit too late and a whole bunch of other factors, but it's not bad. We'll have a little bit of that for the next couple weeks. Some spinach with a lot of grass mixed in. Tried to rip all this stuff out in the spring, obviously didn't get it done. So there's a lot of grass to rip out here and here. This is where the onions were, so these beds are the worst with weeds, but at a certain point you just can't cultivate anymore. And most of that is just because that manure I think I was using had a bunch of weed seed in it, so I won't be doing that again. Plus I just got 40 yards of this beautiful compost. So we're gonna be long on compost for a while now. So this compost is spectacular. That's why everything looks as good as it does. But yeah, we still got some weeds going on. I'll get to that eventually, but I'm better off than last year at least. This parsley has been amazing. This has been producing since July, and just, I don't know, I've probably cut it 4 times and it just keeps coming back. And yeah, I'm excited to do a lot more herbs next year, because you don't have to plant them again pretty much. They just keep producing really solid volume all season. I think I'm going to try that with kale too. This kale, it took forever, but I think a lot of that has to do with the soil quality is so bad. That's part of the reason why we're going to really add a lot of nutrition this fall. But yeah, it's looking pretty good now. All this stuff is looking really good. A lot better than it did a month ago. Last of our beets with weeds. These are mostly going to just be harvested and stored in our cooler for the winter. And this arugula, I think I've already cut all the arugula once and it's regrowing beautifully. So we're going to have arugula for another couple weeks for restaurants. And a little bit of radishes. Oh wow, I forgot that was we got the red kind, the red cherries. That's cool, forgot about that. I always thought I was planting French breakfast. This was carrots. Oh wait, no, this was green onions, I don't know. This is the last bed of green onions. This will be great. This will last a long time in the field, probably into November. It's super cold. Everything out here is really frost tolerant now, so except for like the radishes, we'll be pulling all those pretty soon. But these carrots, these are going to be mokum, which are much smaller. Well, these are going to be grown just for fresh eating, and then we've been growing a lot of this other kind, which is huge, but it's also been in the ground for a lot longer. Bolero, which is a really good storage variety, supposedly. I've not tried it yet, but the yield has been amazing. They're all really big storage carrots. So I'm excited about that, but I don't want to start harvesting all of it until we get some frost, because I know that the carrots get a lot sweeter that way. So I got another 120 feet of this stuff left, so it's not that much. But that stuff will be enough to last hopefully till May or something. We already harvested this bed of carrots. Or wait, no, it was over here, I don't remember. We amended this bed already with compost. And then this is our broccolini. It's almost done. It's really slowing down. It's been a bad year for that crop too, but it's mostly because I think the soil's so bad. These cabbages are really cool. I planted these early in the spring, same kind, and I'm hoping that these red ones will actually form a full head by the time, like November, in a month. I'm hoping they actually fully head up, but I don't know. Pretty unlikely. Some of them are getting there, but these green ones are, I think I planted them too late basically, but these green ones are huge. Really dense. I love this cabbage. I'm gonna grow both of these again a lot more next year now that I know what they do, and they work really well on a tight space. So that's a cool crop to sell. Oh yeah, this is a Jerusalem artichoke that's done. Never even harvested this stuff, but it's really good tuber thing to eat in the winter. This is interesting. This is the same cabbage. Still haven't flipped this bed yet because it's producing second heads, which I've never grown cabbage until this year, so I've never seen that before, and I think it's pretty awesome. There's a bunch of little like cabbage Brussels sprouts here that I will harvest, but again, I'm not in a big rush because it's just going to get sweeter with the cold. But there's a ton of extra, like a second cabbage crop here, and it's a little tougher to sell. People don't really know what to do with it because it's a small cabbage, but I'll figure it out. And then in here we got last field planting of the Hackrai turnip, which is a really popular crop for us, and I just did a little thin harvest of it this morning. We'll probably get another 70 bunches or something, or 70 pounds out of this, because I already picked 30 today, at least. This is a really good storage crop too, so we'll sell it in bunches now and then store it up until, I think it'll store for 3 or 4 months in the fridge, in the walk-in cooler. So yeah, I'm really excited about that cooler because we're gonna have better than I've ever done before. We'll have beets, carrots, maybe radishes, and those turnips for at least 3 months after the season's really over. So I planted enough to have, a decent amount, at least until Christmas. So that's pretty exciting for the future. I'm going to fill that thing to the brim next year. this year got away from me a little bit, but I was also building new tunnels, and you know, when you're doing all that infrastructure stuff, it's hard to stay on top of the farming. So next year, not doing any more infrastructure. It's all going to be farming, which I'm real excited about. So let's show you the caterpillar tunnels. I think those have changed a lot since the last video. All right, so we're right in between two of these 100-foot long caterpillar tunnels from Farmer's Friend. I think I explained them a little bit in the last video. But these things are really cool because, again, they're so easy to build, and it's just pretty much doubled the greenhouse space I have. We'll see how well they do with winter growing. I'm gonna try and harvest most of this stuff by well, let me go in here, Christmas at least, and then whatever regrows will be great. Whatever doesn't, it'll be, you know, okay. But we got a lot of winter crops here, but it's all like winter if it's a nice winter. If it's really bad, I'll probably just harvest it all and try to sell it quick. But because I don't know how well, I could tell this thing doesn't hold heat. These don't hold heat nearly as well as the regular high tunnels, which I kind of expected. But you know, even for just the shoulder seasons, they're going to be amazing. And these sprinklers over here are really cool. Get a really nice even watering. But anyway, yeah, so behind me we got 5 beds of spinach, the first planting. They're going to be just really big leaves. We'll start harvesting those probably next month-ish. And they're going to get really sweet. And so, you know, if it's a really nice winter, I'll probably be harvesting in here, at least through February. The whole point with winter growing is you have to have enough mature by November 7th in our climate. That's the last 10-hour day, to last you know, through about February 4th. That's the end of the Persephone period. And then so the 10-hour day comes back again, and then basically things grow again, even in a greenhouse, because you don't have enough light in that time to really have anything grow. And I found that to be like 100% true. The plants just explode starting in February again. So I've got basically these 5 beds. I got so that's like 250 feet. I got another 100 feet in the geothermal tunnel, and another 100 feet in the other greenhouse, which we'll go over in a minute. But so yeah, it's not very exciting, but it is spinach, and yeah, it's almost ready actually. It's almost going to be too big, which it's hard to get the timing right with this stuff, but I'd rather have it be too big than too small. But yeah, it's going to be real thick. We've definitely got some uneven growth here, and that's because this is brand new ground. And when I put the compost in, it's really hard to get it evenly distributed with a bobcat. But you know, it's definitely better than doing it by hand. So this soil will just get better with time. That's part of the reason why I'm doing the soil test, is that as I start ripping this stuff out, we'll start adding really good nutrition, like catered to the soil tests. So that's why everything looks kind of weird, and the growth is uneven. That's kind of what you expect with brand new ground. And then here we got 5 beds of winter carrots. We had really bad germination on this, but it's okay. That's because I was using a really goofy sprinkler system and kind of older seed. So what I did was I came back a couple weeks ago and hand seeded radishes in the bad spots, because I know those will mature, and basically we just got another free bed of radishes. So I probably got about 3 beds worth of carrots and like 2 beds worth of radishes here or something, I don't know. But there's this beautiful purple radish and some other kinds I can't remember right now. But yeah, this is all Napoli, really delicious, non-taste type, one of my favorites. And yeah, we'll be selling these fresh as long as we can. So yeah, these look perfect size-wise. We got another month of growth basically until the last 10-hour day. And I'm pretty confident they'll be fine. And they don't even need to be big. It's okay if they're small, because it's really just kind of like a draw to the booth. You know, this whole winter growing thing is a huge learning curve, and it's only my really third year doing it, so there's a lot to learn. So, but yeah, hopefully we'll be keeping these alive through February. You know, if it gets really -20, -30, I might end up just harvesting them all and selling them bagged or something. But I'd like to keep them fresh because they're just gorgeous and they taste spectacular the colder it gets. Okay, let's go into the other tunnel real quick. And the one thing about these caterpillar tunnels is the bending over to get in them. Right now I don't have fancy end walls yet. I was thinking about building them, but I looked at the amount of work is I don't have time to do it right now, basically, but I will eventually put real end walls on there. The end walls on building these things always take almost as long as the actual length of it, so it always makes sense to make the tunnel longer, because the end walls are just a lot of work, because you got to make sure all your measurements are right and everything. But yeah, here's where we got basically half fall crops and half winter, because I figured this one's going to get a lot less sun than the other one, so I figured this is probably better for fall. But we're still going to probably get a decent amount of winter stuff out of here. Bit of aphid pressure going on late fall, again, new tunnel, so I had to pull a bunch of these cabbage plants because they died, and I replanted with radishes, as you can see, and a couple of these guys got zotzed as well, which kind of sucks. This is a Napa cabbage, or a Chinese cabbage. Looks like we still got quite a bit of aphids, and I brought in a bunch of ladybugs. Oh, they definitely knocked them down, but that's a lot. That's really bad. That's why this guy might not make it, but you know, is what it is. I think we got a ladybug right over here. No, those are flies. There's one. There's a ladybug. Yeah, so I brought in some, but you know, it's tough to brand new. Whenever you have new ground, it always kind of takes a little while for the biology to kind of catch up. But these are more of those green cabbages that I had out in the field. Definitely, you could tell this is new soil. There's just a lot of uneven growth, but you know, I did the best I could with the time I had. We got oh yeah, this is Claytonia. This is one of my favorite winter salad greens. This stuff is going to be an absolute jungle of in a month. The next time I do a tour, this will be completely covered in these leaves, and these things are really tough. They last. They're almost as tough as spinach, and they're native to right around here, the Rocky Mountains, I guess. They call it miner's lettuce, so you might even see it wherever you're at, but this is going to be a lot, because I've had this a couple years and I never had enough of it, so I did a whole 100 foot of it, and hopefully I could keep that going late in the winter, because it's really delicious, crunchy, kind of like watercress. And then here we got kale. This is Siberian kale. It's supposed to be the one that's like designed for winter growing. I don't know what's going on with that guy. And again, we got just some weird stuff going on here, and I think it's just because it's new soil. And I might have broken some leaves or something. But this stuff, in my experience, is just grows like crazy fast. So we still got another month, so these are going to get way bigger than this. And then we've got celery over here. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I hope it does. But celery takes forever to grow. But I'm hoping to at least get it big enough so I could bunch them in two. We'll see. I don't know. A lot of weird growth going on in here just because the soil's all weird. And then we've got Hakurai turnips over here. Yeah, again, you see all those yellow leaves. That's because the soil's weird still. But yeah, we got plenty of time for those to get big, at least for storage. I don't know if we'll be able to sell them fresh, but they're, yeah, really weird. I put 2 inches of compost here, but it got tilled in, so I'm not sure how deep the compost is. So, and I'm not really used to doing that because I never really till anything here, but I think that's why the growth is so weird. but I'm pretty confident we'll still get a pretty good crop of everything here. We got green onions, pretty confident those are going to be fine, harvestable. And then over there in the back is just more arugula and baby kale. Just more winter greens. Arugula, in my experience, these two are not as tough as the spinach, claytonia and stuff, so that's why I only got a little bit of it. But yeah, hopefully it'll still last until Christmas at least. And you know, whatever we rip out, and I can replant, you know, March probably. So most of the reason why I got these is going to be for early spring plantings. That'll be all, you know, mature by July, so we don't have to deal with the cold springs as much. And then you know, late fall stuff. So that's what we got going on here. In the next video it'll all be mature pretty much. So let's go into the last, I think is going to be the coolest so far. All right, so now we're in the first tunnel I've ever built, and this is where the tomatoes were. So last week, part of the reason why I couldn't film a video was I was flipping this whole tunnel from tomatoes and cucumbers to all this winter stuff you see behind me, which you probably can't see that because I gotta zoom in, but it's all germinated. But I was pulling all the plants and putting in an inch of fresh compost and then planting it, so it takes a couple days and it's pretty hard work, but it's done now and this looks amazing. We got this new delivery of compost from a new guy I got up in Billings that just does an amazing job. It's the best compost ever. He puts like dead cows and stuff in there, and wood chips, and it's just really high quality. I could just tell things grow 20% faster with his stuff. It's cool. So I'm very excited to start adding that throughout the whole farm, and then also that combined with the soil testing should help really boost production next year, because we had a lot of problems with production, and it wasn't just because of the spring. It was just a lot of it. I still learning soil management and stuff, so I got to really get better at that throughout the whole farm. But I'm pretty confident we'll do a much better job next year with all the soil, especially with this compost. So what we got here is mostly really all of this is pretty much salad greens. We got a little more of that bok choy I had in the other tunnel, one more bed of that, but again, that'll be out by Christmas for sure, and we'll replant to something else eventually. But most of what is in here is what you see here, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to wait, because I wanted to wait till this stuff was germinated. But this is called Tokyo Bacana. It's this little like salad green cabbage. It's related to Napa cabbage, but it's really tough. It's much tougher than lettuce, and it tastes a lot like lettuce, so that's what I use for my winter salad mix. And I think it's even better than lettuce. I think it tastes a lot better. But I got 2 whole beds right here and a little bit more over here, so we got a lot of it. I know enough from the past to have a pretty good idea of how much I need to plant now, and so we've got a lot of that, a lot of mustard greens, which is right here, so it's just going to be a jungle in here in a month. These are all really fast growing greens. They're like 21-day greens, so I planted them with like a month to grow. But and then this is a spinach bed that kind of didn't germinate well because I used old seed, but I replanted some more spinach, so hopefully it'll thicken up. And what else? We've got, well, this is spinach, but it's just starting to germinate right now. I think when did I plant all this stuff? It was Friday, so almost a week ago. And so it's been pretty cold here, so things just germinate a lot slower. But and then over here we've got our second batch of celery. We'll hopefully get one more really big harvest out of that. I'm going to plant a lot more celery next year. That was extremely popular. And then fall broccoli. I just realized I probably should harvest that guy. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, this is yeah, one more batch of broccoli. I'm still kind of goofing around with that this year. Probably harvest it a little bit later. Kind of waiting for a frost because everything gets sweeter after that. But yeah, we got a little bit over there too. We planted this way back, I don't even remember, July, something like that. And then here, basically just more salad greens. This is all, you can't really tell what it is at this stage, but it's all tatsoi, which is sort of like an Asian spinach. These are all brassicas, as you can tell from the leaves. And in my experience, they're just really, really nice. The timing works with, you know, pulling out tomatoes. I could keep the tomatoes in here until late September. And then, you know, these grow so fast that you could plant them and still get a really nice, abundant winter harvest. And then we've got one little bit of radishes in between the grass that's been creeping in. That I know my plan is to kind of have this radish crop, pull it out, and then this winter get rid of this grass and put a lot more cardboard on the end. And then next year we'll put landscape fabric around the perimeter to stop it from growing in a little better. Because we don't really have, I haven't had much of a problem with voles or anything coming in, so I'm not too worried about that. Because I know some people will put, you know, a piece of polycarbonate underground to stop rodents from coming in. But yeah, like I said, I haven't had a problem with that, so I'm just gonna do the landscape fabric for now. But yeah, this is how everything looks right now. I love this time of year. Kind of everything's slowing down, and I kind of can tell now how the winter's gonna go. As long as, well, I can't tell how the winter's going to go, but I know how the crops look, and they're much better than I've ever had. I've got way more than I've ever had before. But it all depends on, last year we had -30 in December, so that really, you know, knocked things back pretty bad. And the winter stuff, a lot of it is figuring out how it works in your climate, and we got a pretty rough climate for winter growing. But you know, that's really rare to have it that cold here. Most people who've lived here for a long time, I think they say they haven't seen that kind of cold in a long time. So hopefully that's not normal, because I've had winters here where it'd be only like -10, and that's easier to deal with. So because you could only put on so much row cover. You know, that row cover, moving it on and off the plants, I don't really do that, because I just don't really want to. I know a lot of people do that, but I don't really see what the point is. It's not really warm enough to get midwinter growth here, so I'm just kind of planning on harvesting and not expecting anything to regrow until like February. And you know, if it's a really warm winter, that might be wrong. But you know, the row cover is a cheap way to deal with it. If I had a heater in here, I might consider doing that, keeping it above freezing. But that's pretty expensive. You know, I just did it in the spring in the other one, and it was definitely a good move. It made money sense, because the early tomatoes were absolute bumper crop, best tomato crop I've ever had. But I mean, it's only my second year really growing tomatoes, so. But yeah, this is gonna work. I know this, even if it's -30 again, this will work fairly well. You know, I'll do pretty well at least till Christmas, and basically everything after that is going to be bonus plant. We're also going to do microgreens again, which I don't know if I've ever showed that here, but yeah, we're going to do microgreens all winter. I did them a little bit last year, so basically I'll probably do a video explaining what the winter farmers market stand's going to look like, because I think it'll be pretty cool to show what you can have even in our crazy climate in, you know, January. And a lot of it's going to be storage stuff that I'm filling up the cooler with now, and these greens, a little bit of storage carrots, onions and shallots. I do have shallots. I don't know if I showed that yet. I got like 300 pounds of those, and those will definitely last. I know, like, doesn't matter how cold it gets, those will be fine. All the storage crops and the microgreens will work, so even if everything dies by Christmas, it'll still be probably not too bad. So yeah, this is a little glimpse of what you can do with the winter growing, but you know, when you plant. I think most of this stuff was planted last Friday, which was like September 29th or something. In our climate, which is zone 4B, which is pretty far north. So if you live anywhere south of that, it's a lot easier to do the winter stuff. You got more time. You could still probably plant this week, but that's pretty much the last day you could plant anything for winter in a greenhouse. Or even if you have, I might do a video eventually showing low tunnels, which is what I used to do when I first tried this winter thing. And those do work. They're pretty brutal to get into in the winter and to keep the plastic on because the wind blows them away. But the planting dates are a big part of the whole winter growing thing. And so anyway, there's a little glimpse of what you can have in the next video. It'll be really cool because everything will be mature, and hopefully we'll have already have had some cold temps, and you'll see I'll probably be walking through snow to harvest a lot of this stuff. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.